Another really important lesson that I've learned over the years, and we've all heard this saying, probably our mom told us this, maybe your Sunday school teacher told it to you, but don't be greedy. And, if you do your job right as a selling shareholder, you've gone out and you've hired the right advisor, the right investment banker, and that investment banker is greedy, right? You want to hire an investment banker that literally wants to clobber everyone in the head and just drag every single penny out. But if you've hired the right guy or right team, you've set up the right incentive structures, you should let your advisor be the one who's greedy, because as we start to get in the environment that we're in right now, it becomes increasingly important. If I think back to the early 2000s and I think back to 2008, there were some transactions that never closed that should have closed because sellers got a little bit too greedy, or sellers found themselves in positions where buyers didn't like them. And I'm going back to this because in residential and services, the acquirers tend to be blue collar guys. Even some of the big publicly traded firms, they're not bringing in, Harvard MBAs to run these businesses and execute these transactions for the most part. I know they wish they had the ability to do that, but unfortunately, sometimes it's hard to get talent into the industries in which we work in. So in a lot of ways, these acquirers really do business with people that they like. And if you can run an M&A deal, you as a seller, I'm not talking about your advisor, I'm talking about you as a seller, if you can constantly be humble, if you can constantly be likable, if you could try to build a relationship with the people on the other side of the table that you're working with, and then you can resist all urges of being greedy at the very end. As the market finds itself in a very weak position, as other investment committees are saying, hey, M&A guys, operators, president, we're tightening down the hatches, we're not doing deals, kill the deals on the table, you're going to find yourself in a position where those executives are going to fight for you. And they're going to go to the board, and they're going to go to the executive committee and the investment committee, and they're going to say, look, we made a commitment to this guy, we're closing this deal. If they don't like you, or if you're getting greedy, they walk away, and I've seen it. And so let me be precise with my words and define greedy. I've seen instances where owners are doing a $50 million transaction, right? A seller's getting $50 million, and immediately prior to the closing, he takes a firm stand on, hey, I'm doing a consulting gig for you, buyer, for a year. I want you to pay my $600 a month fuel allowance. Or I want you to be responsible for the air conditioning unit on my building, which I'm only leasing to you because you're actually willing to lease it. And quite frankly, you shouldn't be leasing it at all. You should just shut that office down, but you're trying to do me a favor, but I'm going to stick you with an AC bill, or I'm going to stick you with a meaningless fuel stipend. And it's my job as advisor to say, hey, listen, we're going to be nasty and greedy on purchase price, but at some point you've really got to give it up, and you can't focus on your monthly fuel allowance. And it's very hard, and I know business owners always want to win, and I know that business owners view these negotiations as not negotiating with people, but with the big corporate entity. But I remind all of you, before you ever go into an M&A process, do not for a single second think that you're negotiating with a big nameless corporation, because you are not. You're negotiating with people that have a job, they've got kids at home, their wives are bitching at them, they've got all of the same problems that you have. And then on top of that, they're dealing with somebody that they actually are looking down on, because, a lot of these guys go to the great schools, They did what their parents said. They said, listen, I'm going to go out there and get a good job and go to Yale and go and get an MBA and go and do this and go and do that. And here you are, somebody who started spraying lawns out of high school, and you've done a phenomenal job. You're a classic entrepreneur, but you've built this business, but they look at you as somebody who does not deserve to get what you're getting because of where valuations are. And then on top of that, you're going to moan about things, and I've seen it. So I wanted to talk today about important lessons I learned over the years. And as I sat here today, kind of thinking through it, a very important lesson that many of you never learn until it's too late is to be likable, be humble, and don't be greedy.